In this video, we're at International School Manila and watching the Centennial show, opening remarks, and recognizing some important people. Hey guys, if it's your first time on my channel, my name is Greatancheta. Yes, great like Great Wall of China. I'm into food, travel, and real estate. Do consider subscribing to my channel.
ISM, cue applause! Listen, we're gonna have to keep tonight really interactive, folks, because I'm warning you already, there are many words in this show, okay? So stretch yoga pose in your chair, all right? But you know, just looking around this room and being back the past 2 days, a lot of memories are flooding back. I'm sure the same is happening for you. And I'm happy to say now that I didn't actually attend this school because of its academic reputation, okay? That's why my parents sent me to this school, but that's not why I went to this school. I went to this school because of the cute boys. Yes! So let's hear it for the cute ISM, ASM boys. Where are you? And how about the gorgeous ladies in the house from the alma mater? Yes! Fantastic! So thank you again for coming all around the world, and we know it's a massive effort, but we really believe it's because of one simple reason, right? This is a very special place. This is more than just a campus. This is where we grew up. You know, this is where we succeeded. This is where some of us kind of failed, right? But this is where we learned the value of friendship. Some of us took random drug tests, as you do. And some of us made a couple mistakes. Thank you, Mr. Fowl in detention. Where's Mr. Fowl? We're gonna see him soon. Welcome home, Mr. Fowl. But ultimately, this is where we started to develop those interests that have turned us into the people we are today. But I also know, as I look around, that this campus may not resonate with everybody, right? Maybe it's the Belair campus, the Donata campus that holds the memories for you. But honestly, I believe as we journey together here tonight, you're gonna come to realize that it wasn't the canteen, it wasn't the corridors, the locker rooms, the fields that made ISM or ASM special. It was always about the people, right? Always about the people. There is a really unique spirit to being a Bearcat or being an Indian, and that transcends brick and mortar and cement. Am I right? Yes. Yes. So welcome back. Whichever campus you're from, welcome back. But this is an impressive campus, don't you think? Yes. Incredible. So 2002, we moved here. My batch of 2003 were the first to graduate from this campus, but two huge things happened in '02. The first was new location, brand spanking beautiful place. Second, and this was a massive game changer for students in '02. What do you think that was? Uniform. The uniform. For which I and my peers were horribly offended because we didn't want a uniform, okay? The outcry, we even signed petitions because we believed in democracy, like it would actually work in this school, right? But honestly, the Bearcats were out in full force, and the guy who was in the center of this storm, who had to deal with all of our unpleasantness, is the man I'm about to introduce to this stage, which is a little bit strange. But honestly, he was an incredible man, and he did something that was a little bit of a compromise, or what we thought was compromise was probably his idea the entire time, was we would have a uniform, but we would have all these different options, right? You would have the skirt, the capri, the trouser, the red, the whatever, all these different things. How many schools have fashionistas like we do, right? Yeah. And so what happened was a lot of the students modeled the new uniforms right before the start of term, which was a phenomenal move by the superintendent. God bless him, we gave him hell. But he is an incredible human being. He has turned out to be such a visionary, so much energy. He oversaw the completion of this magnificent campus. He is our longest ever serving superintendent, 18 years and counting. Please welcome Mr. David Tong. Do you forgive me? Do you forgive me?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure to see you here filling our lovely theatre. This is, as you will have inferred, my 19th year here, and one of the things I learned very early on in my career is that our alumni don't have much of an attention span when it comes to talking heads. And after dozens of alumni gatherings since my first, I've no intention of testing your patience today. ISM is a school with so many good things going on. Our academic program is incredibly strong. Strong for those children for whom learning comes easily, and strong for those who can find the classroom challenging at times. Our sports programs, fine and performing arts, the community service, all of these are stellar. But these are characteristics that you would expect from any really good school. But there is something else that makes ISM different. Something that distinguishes it from other schools. ISM, and its illustrious forebear, AS, has a quality that is as important as it is intangible. This is a school with a heart, with a personality, with style and swag. People who walked into the ballroom at the Pen last night would have realized that they had stumbled onto something very special. The electricity and the excitement in the air were palpable. Over the years, I've met so many alumni at gatherings in the USA and here in the Philippines. And a comment I hear so often is that the years that those people spent in Manila were the time of their lives. Often their stay was only 2 years or 3 years, but however short, there is always a magnetism that keeps pulling them back to their AS or to their ISM roots. When I came here in 2001, the story I heard was that though the bonds between the alumni were strong, the connection to the school back then was much weaker than it ought to be. We've spent years building bridges, and thanks to Stephanie and now to Anna, we really believe that our alums are back on side. But we have more impetus still. Our 2 most recent board presidents are themselves alumni, Frederick Tengsu and Wu Chung. And with Molly C there in the background, prodding them on, you may be sure that the drive to keep involving and integrating you will continue. I'm delighted to invite onto the stage Wu Chung, alumnus, trustee emeritus, and proud parent of 2 more ISM alumni. Wu Chung.
Thank you very much, David. But I'd rather get a hug from Nikki than a handshake from David. So let's hear from us Indians. How about the Bearcats? So, unlike David, I'm going to test your patience a little bit, because my speech is a bit longer than his. It was January 1976 when I first set foot on this campus of ISM. I just landed from Korea, about to enter the 6th grade 2nd semester. I had no English in my head, so I could not say I am ISM at that point. And I had 2 friends, my older brother Joseph and the older sister Helen, who's sitting there filming right now. The first week went by relatively peacefully. I was basically hiding under the cover. But the second week was the trouble. In my oral communication class, I was told that the next day I have to give an impromptu speech in front of everybody in the classroom. So of course I panicked. But luckily I had my father, so I went home and I said, Dad, I have a problem. So next day he somehow got me out of the class and put me back into written communication class. I was safe. Now 44 years have passed. And now I'm standing in front of the entire ISM community. From 1940s to 2020s, with people from literally all over the world. So I'd like to take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude to the ISM, and especially the Superintendent David Toes, and the key organizers of this incredible event, Stephanie Hagedorn, Anna Goko, Micah Cruz, for giving me the second chance to redeem myself. And they've really done an incredible job, haven't they? And most importantly, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming, pressing the pause button in your lives, traveling all the way to the Philippines and to this venue to make this possible. And of course, I would like to thank the Philippines for being the incredible host of this incredible institution over the last 100 years. Can you believe that? So when I was asked to give this speech, I hesitated a little bit because I was thinking, what am I going to talk about in front of such a wide diversity of generational diversity? We have Margot Kestenbaum, class of 1949, Nigel, 1950s, Vicky Herrera, Ike Estelilia, Buddy Velayo of 1960s, Lynn Butler, basically everyone's pediatrician in Manila, and John Forbes of the 70s, and of course, the classmates of the greatest decade, 1980s. And so on. So I consulted everyone's favorite advisor, the Google, to find my way. Now, the Google advised me that I must find the common thread among all the audience here. And I thought maybe that's not so bad, because ISM had such a big footprint in each and every one of our lives, that if I could walk through my life, through the memory lane of my life, and illustrate what ISM has meant to me professionally and personally, I thought everyone could relate to what I had to say based on their own experience. So, in middle school, I was walking around basically desperately trying to learn to speak English and idolizing all those high school soccer players. For example, J.D. Lee, David Burks, the Pesino brothers, and others. Then when I finally got to high school, I made it. So I was walking around the campus because I thought I was the coolest dude on campus because I was on the soccer team. But what made the soccer team so special, or any other experience in ISM so special, is not the fact that we were beating Clark, Faith, and Subics every year, but because of the special bond and relationship that we established with the teachers and coaches. So, Mr. McKenzie, where are you? I can find you somewhere. Thank you so much for making.
He's my
And Mr. McKenzie, thank you so much for making us feel so special. And I'm so sorry for thinking that it's okay to show up to one practice in the afternoon of 1981 after having a bucket full of fried chicken and about 20 bottles of beer, and thought it was okay to show up for practice. So of course he kicked us all off, not the team, but off the practice that afternoon. And also all the teachers, for example, Senior Lochenko, thank you for always keeping us follow the straight path, and always being there with us, even during this week. So when I moved to the United States to attend Boston College in the early 80s, my home away from home was the home of the ISM alumni. So John and Michelle Stefani in New Jersey, Colum and Aiden Connolly in Delaware. So every Thanksgiving and Christmas, my sympathetic college classmates felt badly that I had no place to go home, right? So they would invite me to join them in their home. But I was able to say with a big smile and say, you know, it's okay, I'm also going to my home in New Jersey and Delaware. And they're wondering, why you have so many homes? And of course, how can I forget my two surrogate sisters, Chihan and Jane Lee, who looked after me during my college days, after my sister graduated from college after my freshman year. And finally, my college roommate, another ISM alum, Joel Binamira, a management consultant turned entrepreneur who now owns the famous Zugochon, which, by the way, is the best lechon in the world. I think Anthony Bourdain said so, actually, before he passed away, for inspiring me to do well in college. So in my first job out of college, I was in the New York tri-state area. Again, my life gravitated towards other ISM people Rod O'Connor, Nancy Fava, Greg Murray, and sometimes out-of-towners like Susie McElhaney, to name some. And in fact, all of them are staying in my house in the last 1 week. So things never change. So every Friday evenings, when the weekend began, all of the ISM people around the region would congregate in one apartment and just stay there all weekend. And we would watch movies, play sports, eat, and of course drink. We were looking for something to do, but we couldn't find them. During these weekends, we would speak all in Filipino accent for some reason. Because that's the best way to reminisce about our homeland here. And what's even more interesting is other people from New York started to pick up that accent. And they can't figure out why and why they're doing it, but they were having a good time anyway. And one of those pseudo-Filipino friends, name was Jennifer Choi, who had never been to the Philippines, would later become my wife, and would have the biggest footprint on ISM, and I'll tell you something to do with Nikki actually as well. In 1993, I got my wish to return to Manila by getting a job at the Asian Development Bank, ADB. And a couple of years later, I heard about this change in ISM mascot from the Indians to Bearcats. That was in 1995. And I thought the entire sky was falling on me. So I said, seriously? No more ISM Indians? How can that be? By the way, what is a Bearcat anyway? But I realized that life had to go on, so I did. So taking my 2 kids to ISM as a preschool and ECLC in 2001 and 3 were probably the third most significant event of my life, following my wedding day and my birthday in the order. So as mentioned earlier, my pseudo-Filipino spouse, my wife, Jennifer, spearheaded the movement to institute the uniform in 2002. And she was basically following the orders of David Toast. And I think the modeling probably was Jennifer's idea. So as suspected, I think all of the high school students, especially girls, hated her because they wanted to make a fashion statement every day in school. And this was the year of transferring Belair campus to BGC. And as a parent of ISM, and as a member of ISM Board of Trustees from 2007, I got to know the details of how the school is run. And I gotta tell you, it's run fantastically, especially in the last 15, 20 years. And it's been a wonderful experience serving on the board together with eminent people such as Ray Dempsey, Freddie Tengsu, and Loli Si. And interestingly, I became more interested about ISM since my kids were attending the school than when I was there myself. And now that I didn't have to study myself, I cared much more about the academic rigor of the school. And what is this A-? You gotta get an A. Under the leadership of the Superintendent David Toast, ISM has transformed itself from a good to a great school. It's amazing that every single ISM Bearcat strive to do well in academics, athletics, art, music, and service, all at the same time. And I can testify to that because my own kids were going through that for 12, 13 years, each of them. And what IS has become in the new millennium is a school where over 80% of all students, graduating students, obtain IB diploma. Yes, the dreaded IB. Each year, over 30% of graduating students get into the top tier, most competitive universities in all over the world. And several graduates are competing in the athletics Division I program in the United States. So often we see ISM Bearcats acing that IB class exam, then quickly driving to the airport, getting on the plane to compete or participate in the ISS, sports, and cultural events and MUN. Then quickly return back and join their own band, like those people sitting here, to compete in the annual Battle of the Bands. That's an incredible show if you've never been part of that. And then on weekends, they will do service work as part of the Classroom Without Walls. So I think it's a passion of excellence combined with kindness, which is the biggest attribute of ISM students. And through the years, I met many amazing ISM graduates, many of them sitting here, such as Farhan Zaidi, I think he's class of 94-ish, who was one of the key characters of the movie Moneyball, and later became the general manager of LA Dodgers, and now the president of the San Francisco Giants. My classmate of 82, late Charlie Halak, was one of the co-founders and vice chairman of the BlackRock Investment Management Company in New York. And we thought class of 1982 was the dumbest class in ever. Over the years, ISM has established a reputation of being one of the greatest educational institutions in the region, if not in the world. Recently, I was pleasantly surprised to hear that one of the Asian Development Bank's key recruits from London put a little scribble on her application in ADB's job application saying that I will join ADB only if my kid gets into ISM. So I didn't know what to think of that, but I realized that it's actually harder to get into ISM than to the Asian Development Bank. Okay, I'm getting to the end. As our superintendent, David Toast often says in his high school graduation speech, I would like to request each and every one of you to look to your left and to look to your right. And remember these faces. This is probably the last time you'll see all of us sitting in one place, physically, not through Facebook, and celebrate. So let's treasure this moment. We are all in a different stage of our lives. Some of us have a great future in front of us, and many of us had great ones in the past. No matter which stage you are in, we must move forward as one ISM community. I am ISM. There's an African proverb quoted by my son Daniel during his high school graduation speech in 2014. If you want to go fast, walk alone. But if you want to go far, walk together. So ISM Indians, Bearcats, and everybody else in this community, let's all stay healthy and walk together to the next millennium and to the next milestone of ISM. And my final words I know we had a beautiful song about IS Indians, so I must give final words to the ISM Bearcats as an ISM Indian. So ISM Bearcats, who are you guys? See? You have been doing a fantastic job in carrying on the legacy of ISM, so keep that up. But there will be many cases of challenges and trouble in the future in whatever you do. But remember this, the ISM Indians got your back. So now the most important, the reason why I'm here actually, is to recognize two special people in a ISM community, two icons of the community. First is the former First Lady, Mrs. Amanita Marmos, better known as AMR, or Ming. She has 65 years of service in ISM community, the longest serving member. So she entered as an assistant registrar in 1955. After 6 months of fantastic work, she was promoted as a testing administrator. And in the 60s, she took on a larger role as a director of testing while school moved to the Belair campus. And in the 70s, her role expanded again as the school registrar when we became the International School Manila. And in the 70s and 80s, she was the director of admissions. And when she became the First Lady of the Philippines, she stayed on as the advisor to the school. And today, she's sitting here, Mrs. R, or Ming, continues to
am the antique of ISM in person. I've enjoyed working here. That's why I'm here 65 years in June. I hope Mr. Toast does not fire me. Because my husband has worked in his foundation but has no salary. Please, Mr. Toast, keep me working. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and don't worry, Ming, David is in a very forgiving mood today because I also plagiarized his speech thing on the look to the left and right thing, and he's not gonna throw me out of the school. So the second person actually does not need an introduction. If you attended her merienda last Sunday, you'll know her as the rock star. The world of soccer. So the world of soccer has Pele. The world of entertainment music has Michael. Our world has Vicky. So Vicky started the American school in Mrs. Miller's grade 2 class of 1957, an alumni class of 1968. And she went to the University of the Philippines, and she became the ISM high school guidance counselor for 38 years until she retired in 2011. And the Filipino Scholarship Foundation was named after her for her incredible work, and she's actually the bond that actually kept all of us together through the generation after the 60s, I think. So I would like to request Vicky to please come up to the stage.
John was asking if I want to say something, but you know, to tell you the truth, I've been gaga, overwhelmed. This has just been a crazy week, all the events leading up to now, starting from a couple of months ago, have been crazy because you and I are just, I don't have the words. You're just so wonderful. And last night at the Pan, I felt like there's so many people. How many people? 700? I wanted to say, I think I knew everybody there, but I didn't have time to say hello to everybody that I wanted to say hello to. So if I missed you, I'm sorry, and I hope to see you tonight. You guys are fabulous. And, you know, working at ISM has been, I felt like I wasn't coming to work, and I think I might have come in if you didn't pay me. But the salary was good. It was great and fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. O, for the beautiful tribute. Vicky, you're amazing. And Mrs. Ramos, a true gem of ISM. Thank you all so very much. We'd like to take this time to actually get to know all of you who are here. So I was terrible at math, and I always will be, but I'm going to try to use math to describe who we are, okay? So if you have, at some point in your life, attended ISM or ASM, and you can stand, please stand. Same up there, I can see you. Okay, thank you so much. Take a look around, this is it, all right? Thank you so much. Wow, this is nice. That's the majority of us, of course. Not bad at all. Okay. So here in 2010 or after that, thank you for your service. Please have a seat. Yeah? All right, okay. Here for the millennium, year 2000 to 2009. If that was you, please have a seat. Okay, we're gonna be here a while, okay. The decade of the naughty 90s, 1990 to 99. Well done, have a seat. No prize, no prize. The electrifying 80s. Mr. says it was the best. All right, welcome back, please have a seat. Okay, so we got the 80s. Ooh, the disco soulful 70s, 70 to 79. That was an awesome time. Happy time. Well done, welcome back. You may now rest. All right, the swinging 60s. Anybody from 1960 to 69? We know there are a few real cars.
Some people showing up.
Here we go back another decade to the 50s. 1950 to 1959. We have a few. Thank you so much. Which means there is meant to be one woman standing, representing the class of 1949, and she is here with us today.
Whoa!
There she is, madame! Mrs. Margot Lopez. Come on up. We would love to present you with something special. This is incredible. Oh, how wonderful! Are you related to this beautiful woman? Yes? Yes? Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, just over here. I think it's a good moment. You don't have to go too far, just over here. Thank you. What's your name? Lee. Hi. Okay. All right, as Margaret's coming up, or we could do this on the side, it's no problem. But I think this is a perfect place for you because we've got the flag and we have your whole family here, which is absolutely sensational. Come on in. Margot, come Maria. Thank you. And this is your little one? Does she get a kiss? Yes, she gets a kiss. Oh, it's wonderful. And I think, if you don't mind turning, because I just want everyone to see you in the light. Oh, of course you can. Absolutely. You can have many, many sentences. Up to you.
Only three. First of all, what a very young-looking student body. Secondly, I have to tell you that I have the deepest gratitude to the Philippines. Because of the Philippines, I am here. If not for the Philippines, I would not exist, nor my family. Thank you to the country. Secondly, with a very broken education, I came to this beautiful institution. It wasn't quite so beautiful, but the teachers were. And I am grateful for the basic education and values I got here. And finally, how did you know? My specialty was early childhood education.
Thank you very much, Margot. You're extraordinary. We're so happy to have you. But before you leave, I do have one very important question, if you don't mind answering, if you don't mind indulging me. Who was your high school crush?
Manfred Hay, but he was LaSalle.
That's okay. We love diversity, Margot. Thank you so much. My class of 1949. Thank you for being here. Awesome. Thank you so very much. So this is really beautiful. And I know we're just having these sort of goosebump moments as we meet all the incredible people that have journeyed through this school and what we've learned and the relationships we've fostered, etc. As I mentioned earlier, it is about the people. And it's not just your peers, these incredible peers, it is the faculty, the amazing staff. They are the DNA of this school. So I think it's only right that we acknowledge the faculty and the staff. If you have ever served at ISM or ASM, would you stand so we can say thank you for an amazing experience and an amazing education. We love you so, so much. Maraming salamat po.
So guys, thanks for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up button down below, and I would love to connect with you in the comments. What do you think of this video? Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do consider subscribing. And you guys watch out for part 2 of this whole performance. Anyway, take care and have a great day.